hear it at all.
Oh, good. Oh, good. That means
Yeah.
I picked it well. I wanted something quiet that I could have on while on my mic, so that's
Okay.
good.
Yeah.
Who's
Alrighty.
that
So
one guy that said it like, fuck it, we'll do it live? That's how I feel right now.
I'm. It's not ringing a bell.
I don't know. I remember he's like in epic rap battles of history. Probably where I got it from.
Oh.
But yeah. Okay, let's go. Let's do this.
Okay.
Let's do some
Okay.
Owl
Yeah.
House because I'm sorry I freaking kept you guys this late. It's
No, it's okay. Okay.
Ugh.
Okay. Okay. I mean, yeah. So, but it's all good because we like both episodes a lot. So, yeah.
Yay! Yeah, I
Yay.
like them both a
So,
lot.
yeah. Oh, and speaking of which,
Yay!
somebody has come by. Hello, Kyle. Hello, everybody.
Hi,
Hey,
Kyle, and everybody else
everybody.
out there on the internet,
Yes.
interwebs.
Yes, hello out there. This is Bloodman Bobby and Gabby here to talk about more Owl House. Last week, we didn't get to do a review because I was too busy, reviewing Luca and hoping to death that Luca and Alberto don't get shish kebab by Hercule. But yeah, we're checking out
Oh
the
my
two
gosh.
latest episodes. Which, yeah, not to plug my Luca review. I've seen the movie. I like it. You could go check it out. And you liked it too, right, Gabby? I heard you said you thought the film was cute.
Silenzio Bruno.
Which I kept telling myself like that a lot today, by the way.
That's a good mantra. It's a very good mantra.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
And it
yeah.
works for me because it sounds pretty much the same as you would say the same thing in Spanish.
I see.
So to me, it's like, yeah, quiet, Bruno, shut your mouth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, but anyway, yeah, we're not here to talk about Luca. We're here to talk about the two latest
Sadly.
episodes of the Owl House that came out stateside. Here to talk about. Hold on, gonna do my best American Bandstand De Clark impression. We're gonna talk about um, Escaping Expulsion. Wait, no, boo, boo,
Yay!
boo,
That
Amity's mom. No.
thumbnail though.
Yeah,
That thumbnail though. That's beautiful.
but not this
That
person.
scowl.
Oh,
That
yeah. Oh,
scowl.
yeah.
She
But,
wasn't as scary as I thought she was going to be.
mm-hmm. But,
But I take that as a good thing. I wasn't ready for somebody to be as scary as I thought she was going to be.
yeah. You know what's the best way I could sum up Odalia Blight?
Hmm.
Mama, no!
Mama, no.
From Fresh Prince.
I can see Amity legitimately saying that though. Like the mommy issues. The mommy issues.
Mm-hmm. Every good show's gotta have
Mommy
mommy
issues
issues.
galore.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
And yeah. And the other episode we're going to talk about is Echoes of the Past. Yay! Which, by the way, is my
Yay!
personal favorite episode of the second season. I think the cool thing about this stream is that I feel like we're talking about like an episode that you really liked, Gabby, Escaping Expulsion, and then the one that comes after that is like one that I was like, oh my god, this is so good. I really want to talk about it. But I think
Oh yeah, like
we basically both, we do like both episodes. It's just that it hit each of us like strongly. Like each one hit us like strongly.
oh okay.
In a
And
different way. Yeah.
I'll have to say because I think I'll probably be with you in the sense of really liking Echoes of the Past. That
Uh
was the
huh.
name, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I think what got me on board with Escaping Expulsion is just the fact that I mean, it was from the get-go I knew it was going to be about like this relationship I was super invested in as far as the show went.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously I was pretty happy. I was
Mm-hmm.
pretty hyped. But as far as emotional impact, that that has to go to Echoes of the Past.
I
And
see.
that caught me really off guard just because I was not expecting it. And I already love King. Like I love Lumity as as a dynamic, like as a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to say, probably my favorite character is King.
I see.
So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little all over the place when it comes to that. So, but I mean, I think credit has to be given to Echoes of the Past just because, like, it really goes in depth,
Yeah,
and we
surprisingly,
really
yeah.
get to explore something that moves the plot forward in a way that I was expecting from Escaping Expulsion, and yet it came from a different episode.
I see. Yeah.
So yeah. But anyway,
Mm-hmm.
let's get to it.
Yeah.
Let's break this down,
Mm-hmm.
man.
Yeah, we'll start with the one that I think like kind of scared both of us first, and as the title implies, the spoilers galore. So we're not holding back. So don't.
Yay!
Yeah.
I mean,
So
it's been what? For some people, it's been like two weeks now.
yeah, yeah.
Are
2 weeks
you lucky,
since
bud?
it's. Yeah, in the States it's 2 weeks since Escaping Expulsion, and a few days since Echoes of the Past. But
Oh,
just saying,
okay.
because I know what it's like to sort of be like take a while to catch up on a show. So just saying, we warned you in the title that
No, yeah, but then
we're
there's
gonna
also
go.
like the people out of the states that got to watch the leaks or
Yeah.
the early releases. So hopefully everybody's gotten a good chance of catching up.
Hmm. Yeah.
If not, I
I
suggest you run. Not for our sake, but for yours.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. But anyway, let's talk about Escaping Expulsion. So what is this episode that we were so scared about, Gabby? What's it about? What's it about, basically?
Well, what we knew we were getting into was uh, a proper introduction to Amity's parents, under the context of mom finding out that Luce and Willow and Gus had been hanging out with Amity and leaving an impact on her.
Mm-hmm.
She misunderstands it as being a distraction because all she connected was new friends, don't approve, bad grades, need to get rid.
Yeah. And that's
And
exactly what happens. Yeah.
now I'm here overthinking like she was going to let all hell break loose,
Mm-hmm.
and it looked like that was her intention, but I don't know. At least for me, it didn't really end up feeling like that. But I'm not mad about it either,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know if that had been too much. I feel like it probably would have been too much,
Uh-huh.
especially coming right before the episode that we're going to go over next, which we already established there's a lot going on in that episode. So overall, I think they paced it pretty well as far as plot.
Mm-hmm.
So yay.
Yeah, so I think what made, at least for me, what made this episode seem to come off as intimidating is I found like Amity's parents to be like really like intimidating. Like I still remember being like freaked out the first time, like, we see them in Understanding Willow. We hear that, big knock at the door, and I'm like, whoa, that's not Parent of the Year material. And then, we see those silhouettes of the parents basically saying, we have the power to kick Willow out of Hex side, and you have to be friends with Basha and her, like, scary cast of characters and that kind of thing. So, like, I was basically under the impression that, oh no, mom and dad are both scary. But I think what surprised me is the dynamic that seems to be going with Amity's parents is the mom is kind of like the ringleader. Like, she's like up on stage, basically like a scary Elon Musk introducing new products, of light industries. Whereas the dad, Amity's father, is kind of like just like kind of like going along with it. Like I was under the impression that they were both gonna be like scary parents that you wouldn't want to like go like within 10 feet, but it's like not quite. So it kind of got me wondering: did like the dad have like a change of heart, or is he going for like a Uncle Iroh sort of like dynamic? I mean, I don't think so,
Um,
but I'm just thinking what's going on.
I'm gonna if we're going into this, I'm gonna break this down a little bit from what I saw. Uh, right off the bat, excuse me, something has to be up with the dad. Either he
Mm-hmm.
has something that affects his attention, because we see him like he kind of going in and out of consciousness almost.
Yeah.
Almost like moving in and out of a daydream state.
Yeah.
Which applying that kind of thing to like a real life deal could possibly be taken as some sort of coping mechanism for like trauma or bad home environment, bad relationships, stuff like that. Which looking at how mom is, I wouldn't be surprised if their relationship has issues in the sense that if he doesn't have that coping mechanism, it doesn't work. You
Yeah.
know,
Mm-hmm.
right? Mom, mom is here's the thing. Mom is more what I was expecting, but even then not in the way I expected.
Mm-hmm.
Just because both the mom and dad up to this point have been portrayed more so as just straight out aggressive,
Yeah.
right? But while we've established that neither of them are straight out aggressive, the dad is just passive pretty much to a fault almost, except for that one time he calls her out for not sticking to her word.
Yeah.
Uh, but the mom is the scary one. And as far as like real life, how would you say, like
Like if this was like a real life
application
scenario. Yeah. Yeah.
going? Yeah, like if this was like a real life scenario, I would legitimately be scared of the mom.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you've ever been around a passive aggressive person, the way that their mood changes and the way that, like it's kind of like you're walking on eggshells wondering how what they're thinking or what they're about to do. It can be intimidating and it can be really hard to deal with. So it can also explain a lot of why Amity, despite having some truly, problematic relationships with her parents, um, was still able to have some sort of sense of what could be like autonomy.
Mm-hmm.
I guess just because under the guise of like, well, the mom's not full on like telling her she can't do stuff. She's just kind of like strongly, influencing her to the point of low hand manipulation, which is still manipulation, but it's easy to feel like those decisions at the end are like your own. So
Mm-hmm.
it explains a lot of the behaviors we see with Amity as well. I don't know, like her kind of like internalization of some of the stuff that her parents tell her, like about dignity and good grades and having to be with the right people or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and not really knowing exactly how to look for that until she meets Luz and then reconnects with Willow.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think the breakdown though is that, at least for me, I was expecting a lot more straight out aggression
Mm-hmm.
and was surprised to be met with passive aggressiveness. Just because, like, holy mac, is that a completely different animal? You
Mm-hmm.
know? Like, you can still work with it maybe a little better, but it's still not going to go away
Yeah, I see. I mean,
as
yeah.
far as working things out.
Mm-hmm. And
Like,
that might.
it's, uh huh.
And no, I was just gonna
Go ahead.
say maybe that's just how like the mom Odalia. That's how she usually goes about things. I'm wondering if she's put into like an even more precarious situation, she might just go like outright aggressive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that fluctuation of emotion is what makes passive aggressiveness so like intimidating,
Yeah.
because it's like, aggression is still there,
Mm-hmm.
but it's kind of like the person is being like, oh, I'm being nice by not going all out. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right, right, right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
So,
yeah,
yeah.
I still don't like the mom.
Oh,
I'm
no, no, no,
still a
no.
little
Me neither. I
scared of
still
her.
find her intimidating. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not saying, like, oh, she's not the horrible dictator. I thought that. No, 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 no. Especially, like,
No,
given,
she
like,
just
what she
wants
does to
you to think
Luz.
she's not, even though
Yeah.
she is, which is probably a little worse because you add a bit of denial into the mix, and whoo boy, how
Yeah.
fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think like the thing that probably caught us the most off guard is that I remember reading like the description on Disney TVA's Instagram saying that Luz has to make like a dangerous deal. And I thought it was gonna be like a deal that was gonna like last like be like something more long term, maybe lasting throughout the series. But the dangerous deal is basically she has to help out with the mom's present big presentation, like big press conference at the end, which is basically her opportunity to kick the crap out of Luz, basically.
Oh no, yeah, not only beat her
Yeah.
up badly, but eliminate her.
Yeah, like yeah, cause
Eliminate her.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Not
still remember
fun.
hearing that. And yeah, the scene where Luz has to fight the basically like super abomination that kind of looks like Thanos, Thanos meets
Oh my gosh.
Transformers, I guess you
I'm
could say.
convinced that is just Thanos in abomination form. I,
Speak
you can't convince me otherwise.
Yeah. Speaking of things in abomination form, what Easter egg did I see when Luz is checking out Blight Manor? Do you remember?
Oh no!
Like what
Chip
happened?
and Mrs. Potts! What
Oh
did they
my!
do to you? Can you add like a screenshot into this or something for people to see? Like,
I don't know. I don't feel like comfortable like taking it off especially like if it's from
okay,
like
oh
another
well.
person on YouTube. But yeah,
But
but
go
like you
look
watch
for
the
it.
episode, yeah.
Go look for it.
Mhm.
It's the scene. We can describe the scene, right? Like that's okay. We're not
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
get in
yeah,
trouble
yeah.
for
That's
that,
totally fine.
right?
Spoiler discussion,
Okay,
yeah.
because nowadays, like, you don't even freaking know with these like copyright laws and things.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
mean,
know anymore, man.
if it was like Disney Channel's YouTube channel, then I think it's fine. But if it's from like somebody else posting the screenshot, then I'm even less comfortable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But
Yeah.
okay, point being, so you look for the scene where the abomination's opening the door, Luce goes in, and the abomination is staring at her, and he's holding out this platter, and on the platter are a teapot and a cup, and they basically have like abomination faces. And then Luce makes the abomination to like a cat,
Mm-hmm.
which starts out adorable. But then, oh god, it goes back into goo form, and the
Mm-hmm.
way that just looks, like, I have that burned into my brain at this point.
Yeesh. But
Like,
yeah.
I have a vivid recollection of that scene, and I'm like, why?
Mm. Yeah, but yeah, I remember just like seeing that scene and like asking, like I was telling, like asking about, pause, 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 because like I saw like the teapot and cup, and so it's like, what happened to Mrs. Potts and Chip? It's like what? It's just
that
like
was that was
yeah,
my reaction. Like, you pointed it out, and then I'm like, no.
yeah. So
Oh my god! But that was a cute little Easter egg.
yeah, it kind of reminded me. Did you ever notice they also like Disney also did a Mrs. Potts and Chip like sort of Easter egg in Tarzan?
I think I did hear about this and maybe see a screenshot.
Yeah,
It's
because I
been a
still.
while since I've looked into Tarzan specifically,
Mm-hmm.
but I imagine it would have to be something from either the campsite
Uh huh.
kind of like jam session.
Yes,
Was it
like
that?
right
Oh,
before,
okay.
except except they're not in abomination form. It just looks like, Mrs. Potts and Chip without the faces. Like they just look
Yeah,
like,
like if they were
regular
literally just
teapot and cup.
realistic
Yeah.
teapot and cup. Yeah.
But yeah,
I
yeah.
think I do kind of remember that
Because
then.
I remember like the animals seeing that and freaking out and saying, "What is this campsite? What is this?" And they're like,
Oh
"What
yeah.
is this? It looks scary."
Dooby-doo, dabba-dap, dooby-doo,
Like
babba-da-dap,
right
doo-bop.
before, yeah, Rosie
Yeah, I love
O'Donnell's
that
scene.
song.
Yes. So,
Also, can I just say that Turk is probably one of my favorite Disney characters? Like,
oh yeah,
I love Turk.
cool.
Yeah, I love Turk.
And yeah, Kyle says Beauty and the Beast. I get it. Yeah, I mean, I definitely recognize that
Yeah,
as
Beauty and the
like from
Beast.
Beauty and the Beast. Yeah. And
I'm
speaking
pretty
of
sure there
East,
are a lot of fans. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
and speaking of Easter eggs, what's the other Easter egg that's in this episode from another Disney franchise? Well, it's another Disney Channel show. Do you remember?
Oh yeah, yeah. The grandpa from Amphibia. His
Yeah, Hop
face is
Up.
on a book.
Yeah, when because in the episode after Luce, Gus, and Willow get expelled, Gus and Willow's parents find out, and they don't come to them physically, but these like crows come like doing the voice of the parents, like freaking out and saying, you got kicked out of
Oh
school, and they
my
take
god,
him
yeah.
home. And yeah, and then we see Willow's parents saying freaking out, saying oh, we got homeschool, and like I think it was one of the parents like picks up a textbook, and who do we see? It's Hop Pop from
It's
Amphibia.
is that his name? Hop Pop. I still need to properly sit down to watch that show. I hear it's really good.
Yeah, I heard it's good too. I've only seen 2 episodes,
I've gotten
unfortunately, but
distracted in my attempts to watch it because then I'm on the Disney Plus app and then I see stuff like Bluey or like a movie that I hadn't seen in a long time and I'm like, oh, let's go watch this instead.
mm-hmm.
Even though I do want to watch Amphibia too, but I guess I know I'm going to fall into the whole rabbit hole if I do go for that, and I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready for that yet.
I see. But yeah, should we actually get to what's probably a scene you definitely got a lot out of, which is the ending? It's Lumity
I'm already
time!
having
It's
flashbacks.
Lumity time!
I should probably put like like an ear rape warning or like volume warning on that because I I was squealing. I'm not proud of it, but I was squealing. I
Well,
love I love their ship so much. It
mm-hmm.
gives me so much serotonin.
Yeah.
It's I just love it.
Mm-hmm.
I
I
just
mean,
wanna hug
yeah,
it. Like
not
if it
even
was a
during.
physical manifestation and I could hug that physical manifestation, I would do it. Yes, I freaking need one, dude. I legit, I'm still wanting to print it out like on one of those like tapestries and put it on my freaking wall. Right, you see this
Yeah, yeah.
giant freaking empty spot right there? Like,
Mm-hmm.
yes, yes. Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So, what is it?
Uh,
Okay. Let me let me collect myself here. You can see like my whole. I'm already warming up, dude.
mm-hmm.
Okay, give me a moment. All right. Okay, so the first thing that happens is Amity comes out, seeing that they're about to, beat beat Loose into a pulp with the
Uh-huh.
freaking abomination,
Yeah.
and she comes out and she's like, no. And then you just see Luz like on her knees and she's looking up at her. And then I think Amity turns around and like offers her hand or a book or something. And she's just like, and you see her face flush.
Mm-hmm. Like they
And
get
you're
like back
like,
to back, yes, and that's what causes her to go into tomato mode.
okay. And then the next part. So they team up. They're kicking butt. They're going up. And then that. And then Luz almost gets hit again. And Amity swoops in. And she's like, stay away from my Luz. And you just see both of them just kind of like, eh.
Mm-hmm.
Like for the split second, you see them both acknowledging the moment.
Uh-huh.
And you're like, Oh my god. I was like, oh my god. Like I was not expecting that. Like I was expecting Lumity moments, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But I was not prepared. I was not prepared. I thought we were going to get anything like this for a while. And
Well,
then now Dana Terrace is like, well, there you go.
mm-hmm. Well, you're very
I,
good at avoiding spoilers because I still remember. I don't remember which social media platform, but I remember seeing that quote. Stay away from my loose. And my first feeling was, oh God, shit's going down. I actually first thought it was gonna be like, oh, she has to like fight her parents, but it's like, no, she has to fight her parents like a abomination. You know.
oh my god, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how, because I feel like I did hear that, but also like I have mentioned before, my brain, my memory can be a bit fickle at times, and sometimes it's an advantage because then with stuff like this, the scenes, if even I had heard of them, still managed to maintain the same impact.
Mm-hmm.
So if I did hear it, I'm pretty sure I kind of forgot about it, and that's probably a good thing. Cause
Well,
oh my god, I was just like, yes,
I mean,
yes.
heck,
Uh,
it even started before the battle because there was that scene where Luce tries to like tell like Amity to like help when they're still like at Hexside and Amity's carrying a ton of books and like Luce like gets on like her knee or something like that. Like I remember like you
oh
were like
my god, yes. What? See that I could still expect. That I could still expect because it's like Lewis is very what's it with like uh she's very kind of like expressive
uh huh
like that, if that makes sense. Like that's loose being loose.
mm-hmm
She's charming. She is emotionally, for the most part, particularly knowledge like intelligent, like emotionally intelligent. And I mean, obviously, like, oh my god, I'd still see her doing that, but the fact that now she's kind of like they're kind of at more of a mutual point
mm-hmm
where they're both kind of like noticing each other. I don't care how small the implication is, like it's still freaking there, man. Like you can't deny what the heck that is, cause
yeah
oh
all like
my god.
yeah. So, but yeah, so definitely lots of Lumity moments. May not be like a full on kiss or another Grom dance, but it's like it still has its moments. Oh, but admittedly, to play devil's advocate, I was thinking this after we watched the episode. I was like,
What?
so do her parents know because they're within earshot of hearing Amity saying, "Stay away from my loose."
Nah. I'd like to believe that they were just so caught up in their own gunk that they just completely missed it. Maybe the dad, and
Maybe
he
the
just
dad.
kept his mouth shut.
Uh huh.
But that would be freaking awesome. And I'm happy that the dad is the way he is because oh my god, ally,
Yeah.
ally,
Mm-hmm.
ah,
Yeah.
she has a person at home she can trust.
Mm-hmm.
I am so happy for that.
Yeah.
Is it like a for sure thing? Maybe not, but
No.
there's still the possibility that he could be trusted, and I'm okay with just the possibility because
Yeah. hmm
oh my gosh,
I was genuinely surprised because, like, I still remember, like, the dad, like, in silhouette being creepy in, like, understanding Willow, like, being, like, the scary dad. And it's like now he's saying, hey, Odalia, step back a bit. Besides, look at Amity. She's getting stronger.
and the importance of that because let's clarify one thing.
Uh huh.
Mom takes it as, oh, she's going to make a good impression for the family.
Mm hmm.
But the implication that's also added on top by the statement of the dad,
Mm-hmm.
he is strong right now. That means she's still going to get stronger.
Mm-hmm.
And that means one day she can be kicking her mom's ass.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh, battle for the future, maybe.
And that's one of the key things that make these kinds of relationships and from what I've known, this is like an important point for when people talk about this in real life.
Mm-hmm.
When somebody's being manipulated and they have any sense to fight back, that's all they need to grow stronger
Mm-hmm.
and gain the ability to overpower their manipulator.
I see.
So we're already seeing that with Amity, and that also makes me so freaking happy.
Right.
Like, and just watching the mom be none the wiser, I'm like, girl, you in over your head. You have no idea what you're getting yourself into, do you?
I guess not.
But yeah, there you go. That's at least how I read it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that was the intention of the writers, but it's definitely something to point out there.
Yeah.
Like this relationship is also something that's going to be very interesting to continue to look into in the show. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
excited. I'm excited. I'm very happy with how they went with this because this is making for such an interesting story. So
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, escaping
yay!
expulsion. It definitely had its boatload of surprises and developments, but I think
Oh,
that's
and
what makes for good storytelling. Yeah.
we didn't even get into the whole deal with the necklace. Have people been
Oh
talking about
yes,
that?
one of the
Like,
cosplayers we met had made like a like well it was like a video like with the like pretend to use the necklace, but but you mean more in terms of like an analysis, right, of like how the
right, yeah.
mom has this like kind of telepathic ability to speak to Amity through this necklace. Like she doesn't even have to say the thing out loud. She could just basically command Amity
Yeah.
through the necklace.
And I mean, as somebody who has the voices of those around them, kind of as like little kind of like, I don't know, like just kind of like, you think about something and you think about how the person would say it.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of having those voices in your head and then seeing that, you're like, oh gosh, how scary is that?
Mm-hmm.
Literally having that person in your head talking to you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh god, that just seemed terrifying. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm
I don't know if it's
guessing.
just a me thing, but
Yeah, well, no,
I'd
I
be
mean, like, I could
scared.
see that being terrifying. Like, imagine, like, Amity going to, like, a family gathering, and, like, let's say she has to be, like, super, like, well behaved, and if she does one thing wrong, the mom's gonna snap. And, like, if the mom is, like, could see, like, what Amity's saying, she could just, like, tell Amity, you're saying this absolutely wrong, and, you're terrible at this. Like, just imagine, like, that kind of a scenario. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's scary
Oh,
enough just
oh
having the
no,
thought
not
of, yeah.
yeah, and not only that, but knowing that they can put a face. I look like they're completely serene and happy and without a care in the world, while they're just going off at you in your own head.
Yeah.
Like, oh goodness gracious, how about no? No, thank you. If it
Mhm.
was somebody more supportive and positive, then obviously that could be a very good thing because like they could share a lot of secrets, but not with a passive aggressive mom like that. That's just I don't
Yeah.
think people who are supportive and would probably even consider that as necessary because why?
Mhm.
Like you could just talk about it when you get home.
Yeah.
But oh well, I don't know. It's just me.
Mhm.
Little fun detail there. I don't know.
Yep. So yeah, so but yeah, so oh, did you have something more to say, Yami?
No, I think that was about it. I think we're gonna go into the next episode now.
yeah, echoes of the
Yeah,
past.
let's
But
do
yeah,
it.
well, I'll just like quickly, yeah, like summarize my thoughts. As well of overall with escaping expulsion. So yeah, so it may not be like like a long term danger that like I was personally expecting, but I was still, I still thoroughly enjoyed the episode. Had some really good character developments and surprises with things like how Amity, the way she came in to save Luce from getting destroyed by the abomination, and being kind of surprised by her dad as well. So yeah, so just to quickly sum up my thoughts, yeah, I really liked the episode. Mm-hmm.
Yay! I
Yeah.
liked it too.
Yeah.
I
So.
liked all the Amity. I liked all the Lumity parts.
Mm-hmm.
The end.
Yeah.
And I think it's because I got pretty interested in the whole dynamic of the family too. Like that's a
Mm-hmm.
whole package to unpack, and I think we did a little bit of that today. So,
Yeah, a
yay,
good
more
amount, I might
material.
add. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yes, we're moving on to well, I could say easily one of our favorite episodes of the season was
Yay.
Echoes of the Past starring King. So yeah, we get to be
Yay.
to not basically we do get to see the roots of King. He takes Lilith, Luce, and Ida joins them on her flying bathtub, and they come to this like mysterious island, and where King says that was like his recollection of meeting Ida, and then we come across a lot of like details about King's origins. Like even comes down
Oh
to a
yeah,
question of, is King really a king of demons? And just, man, what I liked about this
that whole
episode,
thing.
I really just how like how this episode unfolded. It genuinely felt like I was like hearing a story, this kind of a story for the very first time, just in terms of how like it unveiled secrets and just kept me guessing the entire time. It actually reminded me. Do you remember there was a story arc in Gravity Falls where for a second it's like wait, is the real Grunkle Stan dead?
Oh yeah, because like all the fake IDs and
Yeah.
the Oh okay, yeah, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it and just in terms of like how much it kept me guessing and made me think that certain plot points were definite, but it left my like mind open to like certain possibilities in terms of what could happen. So I think honestly we could just like go ahead and like get to, well, what I considered probably the biggest like surprise of the episode is when Ida reveals how she met King. Again, spoiler discussion, we're not gonna hold back. And I was genuinely like
I
surprised, like hearing the whole story, like hearing Ida say 8 years ago she came to this really mysterious island that it seems like nobody really on the Boiling Isles has any idea what this place is, and she is seeking shelter from the boiling rain because it's basically like acid rain. If you stay in it too long, you'll get holes in your clothes, and God knows what happens. But yeah, so she goes into this building, kind of looks like a monster temple, and she sees this creature coming, and who is it? Baby King.
It's so cute. Such
Yeah,
a
he's
cute
so
little
cute.
fluff ball.
Yeah, yeah. Like I'm not really a person who's like, oh, that kid's so cute. But it's like Baby King is like, I thought he was so adorable, and we just see him like making these like miniature statues of this creature that we think is an enemy. And when it tries to get a King, Ida and King make their escape, and they go home, and we see King continuing. Well, now he's stacking up objects at home, and Ida is basically like, oh hey, you're like a king, and King is like, king, king. And Ida,
Oh yeah.
tells him that kings have great feasts, and they run these big empires. However, this causes King to believe that his own life is basically a lie, because like this whole life he believed that he could be the king of demons, and now Ida is basically saying, oh, I told you that, as a way to like have fun and interact. And I mean, what I liked about that like whole scene, I mean, of course, it's really like, it comes as a big shock. King runs away crying. Is what I like about that is like every character in that scene, like I genuinely sympathized with, and just in terms of like I understood where like King was coming from in terms like him being like shocked that like this whole thing he believed in is a complete lie. But I, at the same time, I didn't take it as like me thinking, "How dare you, Ida?" Like I genuinely took it as, no, no, no. I understood where like where Ida was coming from herself. It was basically it was just her like having been with King, and we know that like she didn't mean to upset King or to lie to him. I mean, yes, I mean, Ida should have like been a bit more like honest in terms of like telling King about his origins, but I really just like how like I sympathize with like everybody in that situation. I don't know what it is. I just kind of like how it wasn't a very like black and white scenario. It was the kind of situation where I completely understood where like every character was coming from in that scene.
Right, yeah, and the I think it paints a good picture of like of the whole deal of somebody who doesn't really have their memories all together.
Mhm.
Like the complexity of that is definitely portrayed, and it's just ah when it's something that's out of pretty much a lot of people's control, it's hard not to sympathize with pretty much anybody who's affected by it, like King for just not knowing the answers himself and deserving them, because I mean, like, he should be able to know like where he came from, what his background is, what his childhood life was like before Ida,
Yeah, but it
all
see
of that.
yeah, but it seems like his nearly all his life, he spent as like Ida's roommate.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I it seems like uh he had just barely gotten out of the egg he hatched from, and then
Yeah.
bada bing, bada boom. He's just with
Mhm.
Ida.
But
Maybe a
yeah,
couple of
which
days or
leads
something.
to
But
even bigger questions, I would say. And and yeah, so like I would say for the second and third acts of the episode, most of the time I was convinced that like maybe King isn't like a king of demons at all. But then Roos like decides, hey, let's go back to that temple you came from, because King mentioned one of the memories he could remember is him falling from a great height and reaching out for some kind of glowing thing, which was shown in the trailers. And they go back. The
oh
guard
yeah.
creature that King calls Jean Luc, like attacks them, except this time Lilith and Hootie. By the way, there's a very meme-worthy moment where Hootie, what did he say? He's like, we're back with something, pain. Like he
Oh
said
my god,
something to
wait,
that
what?
effect. I don't remember the exact quote, but I do
Oh
remember
gosh, yeah, I think
him.
I kind of remember.
Yeah, and so so they eventually like go up to this place on top of the, I guess you could call it like demon like temple tower. Basically call it what you want. And when they get up there, they see like these eggshells. And King puts on, for people watching, how like King has like he has like a missing bit of his horn, like it looks like part of it got
Oh
chopped off.
yeah, Ida
Yeah,
has it.
yeah, and King puts it
Ida has it and
on.
he gives it to him.
Yeah, and he has that memory of him like still being in the egg. He's hearing like he hears some kind of roaring, but he can't and come out because he's not hatched yet. And so he's like in there thinking oh wish I could help, but I haven't hatched yet. And then he hatches out of the egg. First of all, something I want to point out: the skull thing on King, that's actually part of him. I thought it was just like a article of clothing. I didn't know it was like part of him, like the same way like a shell is to a turtle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
was kind of betting on it
Mm-hmm.
being part of him just because, like, I don't know, it just seemed right. Like,
Oh,
I
for
don't know.
I was half
But
expecting like a King face reveal before season 2 came out, but it's like I
that
guess
would have been cute. That
yeah,
would have been
I
cute. But
guess we're
I
not.
mean, he's cute as he
Yeah,
is
yeah, he is. Don't get me
already.
wrong. Yeah, but I'm just saying, and yeah, unless they're gonna pull a David
Maybe
Cronenberg, but yeah,
like if it had been like a Cubone type thing.
yeah,
Oh, the whole thing with Cubone is so sad.
I see. So yeah, and then we
Yeah. No,
see
do you
that.
know where the skull for Cubone comes from?
No, I honestly don't know too much about Cubone.
No. Okay. So Cubones, when they're born, shortly after their mom dies, and
Nintendo,
while they
you're
grow
going after
up,
my feels again.
that's what they carry with them. They grab the skull from their mom and then they wear it for the rest of their life.
Holy
So
cow!
they're
How
carrying
about?
their mom with them.
Holy cow! I mean, I know Pokemon has like a lot of feelsy moments, but it's just like, dang, this is like something I'd expect from like the Earthbound games in terms of like the emotional weight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and then there's this strange kind of like similarities between Cubone and Genghis Khan.
Uh huh.
Genghis Khan.
Yeah.
I like with the little babies kept popping out of the pouch and all that. So
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a whole thing. But yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Revelation from Pokemon. Cubones are carrying their mother's skulls on their heads.
I'm gonna tell
Went
my
back to the
my
day.
sister Penny about that. I'm sure her mind's gonna be blown. And yeah. So
That's why I said it was sad.
uh-huh. Yeah, Kyle says special. Oh, the line was special delivery pain from
Oh,
Hootie.
there you go. Thank you. Thank you.
Which, by the way, did you
Yeah,
expect?
I
By the way, did you expect the Porta Hootie scene to be as nasty as
we
it
saw
was?
we saw it. We saw it. I think it came out in one of the trailers. We're like,
Yeah.
bleh.
No, what I didn't expect
Oh,
was
that was
like the
funny.
reaction of like King, Luce, and Lilith. Like they're just like completely grossed out. Like Luce is like on the verge of like puking. King has like tears in his eyes.
Well, yeah, because they got to see Hootie making his way into the little portable house.
Hmm.
So they got to see more than we did.
Yeah, let's just put it at that.
Like, they probably got to see Hootie's guts
Yeah.
moving around.
Uh huh. That sounds
A
awfully like
family picture.
that sound kind of reminds me out of like something of like Silence of the Lambs. But anyway, but oh yeah, I was telling the story of like I wished I could do that.
I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
Man, I wish I could do that.
Okay, I'm
But then anyway,
sorry.
yeah. Okay, so yeah, so we see, like Baby King come out, and that creature that was attacking everybody was actually, as you put it, Gabby, more of like a nurse character, like a caretaker sort of character, who takes like King down from the tower, which leads to his memory of him reaching out for some glowing object. And the thing that like King probably the most like the really big thing that King remembers is he heard somebody like calling out for him, like saying the word son, but like in like a monster
Yeah,
roar.
the
Yeah.
roar that he said he was hearing from within the egg. He
Mm-hmm.
said he didn't know why or how, but he just felt like he knew like it meant son.
Yeah.
And this ties in so well with the fact that we see depictions of this great demon that looks a lot like him but bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we need to also clarify how this is like. I know you guys probably watch the episodes, but just to like, this is what we do. This is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Uh, the whole point there is that he's trying to prove his point that like, oh, I'm the king of demons and blah blah blah, and then he Lilith and Yehudi are like, nah, you're not. And they start seeing that they kind of believe it. Then there's a whole with Ida,
Mm-hmm.
where she reveals why he's called king. And surprise, surprise, that guy that is depicted all over the walls, even though it's not him, which they first thought it was him,
Mm-hmm.
we find out that might be his dad.
Yeah, that might be his dad. So,
Yeah, that might be
which,
his
yeah,
dad.
and that's when in my mind I went from thinking, oh shoot, King is not a king of demons to maybe he's not like a king as of now, but
Now,
maybe he could be like a prince or at least of like some great importance. Because why was
yeah,
Jean Luc there like protecting like him, like he's like a caretaker. So I mean, it seems like king is of great importance to somebody. Maybe like the
right.
character
And
you
here's the other
mentioned in
thing.
the
Here's the
walls.
other thing.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing. Could that not explain where the boiling isles came from?
Oh.
Dad, skeleton, big, big skull.
Ooh, oh boy,
The
King ain't gonna
Titan.
like that. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a possibility. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where my brain's going. I mean, obviously, like I was like, oh, that's King and blah 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 blah. But I mean, I guess now we have a clearer picture of like what's going on. So I'll admit I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't completely hitting the nail on the head, but I mean, like we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. You know, it's
Yeah.
50-50 chance anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah. I mean, I could
yeah.
see
So
that.
there's
Yeah.
that whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And if not, it still may. It still seems like they may have some sort of connection to the Titan, although what else there is to connect this whole part of the story is still yet to be seen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm willing to bet that he really does is like probably next in line for the throne.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever happened, Emperor Bellows killing off Daddy because he doesn't want anything powerful more powerful than him for whatever reason.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. What makes
Dad
me
cries
like
out. That's the last thing his baby hears off in the tower.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I
You
was
know.
getting to that because, like, I was wondering, was there like some kind of fight going on that King couldn't see and he was being protected, and that's why Jean Luc, like, took him down from the tower so that he wouldn't be like, in like Bellos's line of sight.
Yeah, I'm going to bet that was his dad dying. Emperor Bellos was the one fighting him, and he was a Titan.
Okay.
That's
Because
my
like
bet. That's my bet.
that's your bet. Well, because because like the thing is in the episode, not that I don't believe, that sounds like a very convincing theory. The part of me that's like at least leaving the door open, maybe the dad or at least other like demons could still be around, is King like like hoping maybe he's alive because it wasn't that long ago. Although if the dad really was like killed off by Bellows, then it's kind of an irrelevant like kind of point. But I'd like to think that like me like maybe down the road, we will like because like I could see a thing where it's like yeah, it's probably the dad, who's like skeleton, like the skull and the skeleton we see on the
Or
Boiling
whatever,
Isles.
whatever it was. Like something happened.
Yeah.
Somebody,
Mm-hmm.
that either he was that or he was in that big battle or something.
Yeah.
Something. Like who
Mm-hmm.
knows? They can get kind of funky with it and like King's really like a duke or something.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of hoping. Like, part of me is just like thinking, well, now I'm gonna start saying, "Papa, no!" If
Papa
King's dad really
no.
did die, but I'm still like kind of like hoping against hope. I mean, obviously, we still have to find out in later episodes that like
And
maybe
here's the
if not the
uh
dad, maybe like a at least like some relative like could still be
yeah,
alive.
but
Cause like
and here's the only thing. Here's the only thing I'm kind of going off of because like the only other demons we've seen have been tiny,
yeah
like like um like King. So either only babies were left because nobody got to the eggs,
yeah.
or the big guys are just hiding somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I think one of the reason why I'm thinking there's at least a possibility they could still be around. Like one is like I think for me is just the way like King like described, maybe there's a possibility because I feel like if they're just like flat out dead, I think it would be like a bit more clear. Something about that like the possibility which kind of leads to a bit of optimism at least leads me to
Well, see,
believe
that's
that like
that's that's
maybe.
that's because that's because irony. We have to keep in the fact that we have a little bit more of information
Mhm.
than the characters do in this case.
Yeah.
I mean, in a sense, like we're looking at it from a different perspective, so there are possibilities that there are some information that they're just not aware of.
Right, right.
You know.
Mhm. Yeah, and yeah,
Also, I could
so
just be filling in gaps in information, and that's always like a tricky thing to do. But yeah, there's a lot of things going on there. Yeah. Also, it seems too close to kind of like a setup and payoff type of deal,
mhm.
in that it almost feels like they're setting that up for kind of like to be a review, like, oh no.
Yeah,
But
I mean, yeah, I am keeping in mind that, it is a possibility that, maybe the demons died off, which yeah, and maybe there's the
well, at
possibility
least
that
like the
King.
ones that were grown up,
Mhm.
because obviously some babies were still left.
Yeah.
We still have,
I
did
know.
we got to see the other little goat kid, right? That was from a couple episodes before.
Yeah. I mean,
So there's that, that's the other guy. That's like
mhm.
the little turtle monkey guy, the the little goat kid, and King. Those are like the main three we've seen as far as demons go.
Mhm. Yeah.
So all
So,
babies, all children,
yeah, so maybe that's the
relatively
case.
speaking, at least.
In a weird way, I know this is not a good comparison, but it kind of gives me like sort of Avatar vibes. I feel like every show gives me Avatar vibes because of how much I like the original Nickelodeon. But in terms of this idea that how like Aang in the original series was the last airbender and everybody else, is wiped out.
You're right.
So, it, kind of makes me think if, like, what if it's kind of like an Avatar thing where it's like, at least in this sense that, unfortunately, the previous generations all got wiped out by the villain, but there's at least some, like, people, like, younger, like, the ones who did survive, they, who are now, like,
Oh yeah.
the sort of, like,
I,
the children of those that passed on. So, and which kind of like also leads me to think maybe like King could start, if he's not like a king of demons, maybe he could start like some sort of like he's like a protector of the demons, if you will.
or like he takes the role for it,
Yeah.
maybe. I don't
And
know. There's
that,
a lot of possibilities.
yeah, but that's why this episode is so good.
Yeah, I love it. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah. So,
He's like, screw you! I make my own fate. I'm going to be a king.
yeah. So.
It's my name.
mhm. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm just all out of words. I'm just like beyond stammering right now because of how good Echoes of the Past so good. It's so good, honestly, that when I went back to watch it, it wasn't as good the second time because now I know, a lot of the
Oh,
surprises. I mean, it's still a good episode, but it's one of those episodes where like, dang it, I wish this was my first time. I'm when I didn't know
oh
anything.
wow.
Yeah, it was to
That
me. It was one of
I don't
those.
know if I've ever had that. I can't think of any moment,
Yeah.
or any example right off the top of my head, but I mean I could see it definitely.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just kind of felt like it was one of those to me. Not that I've seen many where I had like, there's a lot of like shows and movies where I could rewatch over and over and have just as much fun the first time. Like I think of like I've been watching like episodes of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air on HBO Max, and there's like several episodes where I could watch over and over again and have just as much of a good time as when I first watched it. But I feel like in a way it's kind of like the best compliment I could give Echoes of the Past. It's so good that like the first time is like the only really really good time I'm gonna have, because now I kind of know what's coming up. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Which, yeah, I mean, come to
Oh,
think of it, there hasn't really been an Owl House episode. I mean, there's many good episodes of the Owl House. Most of the episodes, range from good to really amazing. But I think this is why I would say it's easily one of my favorite Owl House episodes in terms of the storytelling, and just like I like how how it unveils its secrets, and how it really like gets you into like thinking that oh, maybe things went a certain way, or maybe it went this way instead, and that it just makes you keeps you guessing. I'm even like wondering why
oh yeah.
why was like King like making all those like statues of what looked like Jean-Luc at the in the flashback scene. Is it like when you go to a Buddhist temple and they have like the statues of Buddha, and it's like a thing where he's supposed to praise like the creatures that look like
I don't
Jean-Luc?
know. I think Ida was onto something with the whole thing. It was like his army or subjects or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Possible. Oh, so maybe that's another like way
Kind of
that the creatures could be
little
used.
yeah, kind of like set up. But not only set up as in like his army is like just those a whole bunch of like freaking John Lukes, but also apart from like adding whatever other demons are still running around apart from that, like on top of that.
Yeah.
Like, let's say even if he doesn't have royal blood, can you not see Ken taking it upon himself to rally up all his demon buddies and get like a ragtag band going on?
Yeah. I mean, I still think that like, he's perfectly capable of that, crown or no crown.
That and they put the whole bunch of freaking John Lukes on top of that. He's gonna be like, ah, go my minions!
Yeah. Oh boy,
I
oh joy.
want to
Yeah.
see that
Mhm.
now. I want
Yeah.
to see that now.
Mhm.
He was already having fun with the one John Luke. Like
Yeah.
I want to see him mess around with all of them. Like that's gonna be freaking
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah, so that could be, yeah, I could see that too, because like up until this, because like I was basically under the mindset that oh, like Jean-Luc is like the caretaker, and I mean, yeah, of course, he fights, he's a very like vicious fighter, but now it's like, yeah, I could see that possibility of like King like raising an army of all these like creatures. And what's
Oh yeah,
funny,
there was like a
this,
whole room full of them, right?
and well, like the little
Yeah.
statues.
No. Where the one that goes on, there's like
Mm,
a whole bunch of other ones.
yeah.
Yeah, so like if he could get those working, he's like straight up got like a freaking army with him right there in that room.
Yeah, yeah, but of course, the big question that still remains is how.
How do you get them to work?
Yeah, that's just still the big head scratcher. You know what I think it is? Like, not to bring up like Avatar for like the 300th time on this channel, but this whole episode, in a way, it kind of reminds me of. Do you remember? I think it was called the Southern Air Temple episode, where we got to
Southern
see
Air Temple. Oh, is that the one
like
with the people with the airplanes?
no, it's the one where they go to the place where like, Aang was raised, and he discovers no airbenders. His
Oh
mentor
yeah.
like is not only dead, he sees like the skeleton of Monkey Atso, and
Oh,
and
that
Aang is,
part was
dealing
so
with the,
sad.
the crushing reality that, as Katara points out, Monkey Atso and the I'm getting feelsy just talking about it. Like, when Katara says
My
Monkey
heart
Atso and the
just
others are
sank a
gone,
little.
but we're still, you here to be your family. Like, I could actually see something like that like going on with King, because especially
Although with King, it's a little different just because he'd never had a relationship with any of them to begin with.
yeah, mm-hmm,
Besides that short period of time where like he just heard his dad just calling out raw.
yeah,
But
and yeah,
I mean
and
the realization must still hit hard. Like if
yeah,
if that is the case.
mm-hmm, yeah. And I guess I would argue that when I said it kind of leaves the door open to like maybe at least some like of the demons from way back when could still be around. Because in the Southern Air Temple episode, it's pretty clear. Aang's the last one. After seeing Gyatso Skeleton and the fact that there's nobody at that Air Temple waiting, for him to come home. I think that's why in that episode, for me, I took it as, yep, that's it. Aang is the only airbender left, at least within, the original series. Whereas with this one, I think that's why I kind of would still, leave the door. Not that I would bet money on it or anything like that, but I think that's why
Right,
I
because
left
there
with
are
a bit
still
more of
demons,
optimism.
so
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah, because there are still demons. We just don't know up to what extent.
Yeah.
Like that's the question. That's the missing the missing variable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh God, I can only picture what's gonna happen with King if it turns out that yeah, his dad was dying and that's when he heard that roar when he heard his that character say son because because like we see like King is just like shattered when he finds out that no you know when Ida was telling you that oh kings raise armies and have peace that's just her talking to you and having fun. It's not that it's the truth. Like I could only imagine what happened if it turns out that yeah his dad and family were killed off probably by Bellows. You know.
Right, yeah.
Oh boy, I'm ready for that Disneyland ride.
Oh boy. Now the implication of the heart at the throne.
Shoot.
Heck! He's gonna get pissed.
Which now makes me confused because if there's a heart beating, that usually means that there's something alive, unless you know
Right.
what I'm saying. Something,
That's like
yeah,
a scientific weird thingy.
yeah,
It's like it's literally just the organ.
mm-hmm,
Like, that'd be so sad. Like even
yeah,
then, like you don't want to see your dad be just like a beating heart either. Like that's not much better.
yeah. No, well, yeah, no, of course not. But like, oh boy, I could just picture like, could you imagine if like, I mean, I don't think like Emperor Bells would like outright admit if this is true. Like,
I
this
don't
is
think he would know. I don't even think he would know. Like
oh.
what the heck are you, tiny little
But like, could you
freaking
imagine if like,
cat
let's
thing?
say could you imagine if let's say King's father is dead and he finds out and he puts together if Bellos is responsible and King puts that together, oh my God, King
He's
is gonna
going to go
be
berserk.
like
It's gonna be like who was it? Who was it like in the Marvel movies where he's like, you took everything from me. Oh, it was Scarlet Witch, right? With
I'm
Thanos?
not sure.
Yeah, she's
Like,
like, you took everything from me. He's like, I don't even know who you are.
oh my God, because like. I mean,
Oh god.
to use car terminology, King would just be hitting red line hard, in terms
Like
of like, yeah,
except I can picture King just going full on like just like feral, just like all out, just go, pull out the claws and not his freaking face.
yeah, and
And
even if like Bellows like knocks him out, he's still gonna like try to like rip his like face off and just let him have it,
oh,
I
he's
mean,
gonna go. He's gonna go
oh
off. He's gonna go full
yes,
off.
yeah, uh-huh.
No regard as to whether or not he'll manage anything. It's just like the fact is, I need to do this.
Yeah. Or I'm even thinking, what if they even pull up like a thing where it's like, again, they sort of do the thing where it's like, we think that, oh no, there really are, like, his family really is gone. But then in the end, it turns out there's at least like some kind of glimmer of hope, which
Aw, that would be adorable. Like there's got
I,
to be something like that at the end
yeah.
of it. Like a little happy ending deal.
Isn't it weird? Like,
Unless Dana Terrace is like that kind of person who's just kind of a little sadistic that way. She's like, you don't get a happy ending. But no, she really doesn't seem like that. Like obviously she seems to have a flair for the bizarre,
yeah,
but not bad, not bad,
yeah,
just dramatic,
yeah.
and I think that's okay. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like that's what I'm here for. I'm here for dramatic storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, give me
Yeah.
all the spookiness and drama. That's
Mm-hmm.
what I live for. I
Yeah.
think that's part of why I'm just so into this show. It's like the perfect combination of like action, adventure, and like spooky vibes.
Yeah.
I like
I
that kind
mean,
of like yeah.
yeah, I mean, I still remember, and this is not like to, like, like, this is not like a knock at Dana Terrace, but I still remember when she said on Reddit she doesn't consider herself, like, the most, like, family friendly, like, person, things like that. And I remember just like, when I think back to that, I was thinking if she was, I watched like, like my fair of like shows that get, like, pretty like dark and crazy, even beyond the Owl House, like I think of, like South Park, for instance, and, shows like that. But I'm just kind of thinking, I feel like there's a lot more to like, the way Dana tells stories aside from, like, going to that really like, grim side. I mean, yeah, the Owl House, like, don't get me wrong, has its share of intense moments. I mentioned before, like, Understanding Willow, or even what's the name of that episode? The one before the last season finale. The one where, Lilith and Ida have that big fight and Ida gets captured.
I don't know. I kind of remember the episode you're talking about, but I don't think I remember the name.
Uh, I will just check for a second, but how
But
else?
yeah, if I may interject a little bit, like I think that's part of why this show works.
Mm-hmm.
Because here's the thing, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people will agree with this. Um, People, whether they're young, old, or in between, do not like to be patronized. Not full on, no, not like like babied or coddled in that kind of sense. At least with stories,
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to stories, one likes to be challenged, and the whole deal with what's considered not family friendly is the fact that it is challenging. And that's what people worry about when they say, "Oh, my kid's not ready for that." But at the same time, having that good balance of like figuring out what amount of challenge could be like really good for the story and still, you know, capable of being okay to show to children, make something that a lot of people are attracted to.
Mm-hmm.
That's why people gravitated towards Gravity Falls. Like kid like at our high school, there were kids watching it. And let's not forget, when you're a teenager, you do not want to be considered a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you're a full on adult or not, you're not going to do anything that you think is going to be like, oh, that's for kids. So what does that say about the storytelling there? Like it's oh hell, excuse me. Yeah, it's there. The challenge is there, and that's what's going to make a good story. Being
Yeah.
treated like you're a human being capable of critical thinking.
Yeah.
And I think that's why people go for these kinds of issues where the person's not necessarily completely family friendly. It is kind of sad, particularly in this case for me. Like at least I think so, just because like we can tell that she'd really rather be making something a little more mature,
Yeah.
which is fine,
Yeah. I
but at the
mean, I
same
still,
time,
yeah.
it's
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's great. It's great that she could make something good out of this, and something she hopefully that she could still be proud of. Because I mean, if I was behind this, I'd be freaking proud. I'd be like,
Yeah.
yeah, look, I did that. You see that? Like,
Mm-hmm.
heck, probably because it would be a big challenge for me, and I don't know whether or not I can get up to that level, if I even have that potential at all.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like this is really good, and I think it's part of like her capability of dipping into stuff that's not typically, uh looked into as far as like family friendly content.
Mm-hmm.
That's because you're challenging what's the limit of that, like where does the line draw, when does it stop being family friendly, and there's something exhilarating about that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
but
going on and
yeah,
on.
but by the way, the episode's name was Agony of a Witch. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. But oh my, yeah, I'm surprised, like, we got, how much we got out of like talking about Echoes of the Past. Even like now as we're talking, like I'm impressed
Oh
that
wow.
you were able to, like, I mean connect, all these like possible theories.
And again, this is just me trying to answer the questions that I have myself, so
Mm-hmm.
I can still be wrong. Do I want to be wrong? No, but who does want to be wrong? That's okay. But it's
Yeah.
okay if I am. I'm not going to be mad. I don't think so. I'll try
Mm-hmm.
not to be mad if I'm wrong.
I mean, basically, it's just like, kind of fun to like, guess what comes next.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I mean, it makes me kind of wish, like, I was still, like, more of, like, a fan theory kind of person. But nowadays, I don't know. I'm just the kind of person where it's just, like, I try to, like, think of, like, possibilities, but I kind of feel like fan theories, especially after going through Star versus the Force of Evil, another show I mentioned way too many times on this channel. I just kind of felt like, yeah, maybe I should sit back a little.
I mean, I don't know. As far as like mentioning a show, quote unquote, too much, I mean, that is the reason we have the name for the channel that we do.
Mm-hmm.
Be kind of weird if it didn't pop up.
Uh-huh.
So I'd call that a good thing. I think that's a good thing.
hmm I
Yeah.
mean, I don't think I could get away with calling my channel the Owl Bobby now, can I?
the
I mean,
Hootie
a
Hut.
Hootie Hut, or I mean, I've tossed around the name Blood Moon Society Anonymous, but that sounds even scarier. And some, like, I've even like, not to go on a rant, but I even know like people personally who find my channel name like creepy.
I mean, there's a relatively ongoing theme of moons. Loose nighttime kind of like, you know, atmosphere with the whole owl house thing, the blood moon. You know what kind of came to mind?
What?
Lunaris.
What's that?
I don't know why that just like the name Lunaris. I don't know. It just popped into my head.
Oh, okay. But
I
yeah.
feel like it has a good ring to
Uh
it.
huh.
I don't know. If you want to use it for something, anybody watching it, free stuff to work with. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know stuff.
But holy cow! I mean, like, it's just insane. It's like this is not even like an episode that's like later in the season. That's like there's so much like going on in this like surprising episode. Like, what's funny is like you mentioned before that your favorite character is King. Up until now, I like King, but I honestly didn't really perceive him much beyond like comedic relief. Well, more specifically, I was thinking he's, because like I often see him as a comedic relief, but I'm sure has like an even bigger story. I couldn't expect like something like this personally, like just in terms of
Oh
like
yeah.
how they tell the story, and even like maybe even bigger implications. Like I mean, I remember back when season one ended, and we talked about this possibility. Maybe that skeleton on the Boiling Isles like is related to King in some way, and I mean, it's just like
Oh
I'm
yeah.
just like
Like
stunned, like how much we got out of this episode, in terms of
absolutely. Like
like
even I was surprised with like how deep this whole backstory with King went. I was not expecting it to be that deep.
yeah,
But there you
I
go.
mean,
I'm gonna let you in on something. You want to know why he's been my favorite character, despite him not really being looked into until now?
tell me.
I have a weakness for cute yet creepy things. Okay,
hmm I mean, yeah, I can
and he's
understand
a
it.
perfect combination of both.
hmm
So, yes, I mean, I love Gizmo. Uh, Gretzko, if you're kind of into that, like she's not scary, but I mean at the same time, that whole kind of like rocker, kind of like gonna bite you type of dealio, rock hands, raw type of deal. I mean, yeah, that kind of stuff. Like
Uh-huh.
cute but edgy.
Oh my god, I'm looking for Dana
Yeah.
Terrace's Twitter right now. Do you know what she said about the first time seeing these storyboards for particularly the scene where Ida meets Baby King? I'm gonna quote her.
I want to hear. I want to hear. I want to hear. I want to
She
hear.
said, quote, I remember seeing these boards for the first time and my heart, every teary-eyed emoji.
Ah,
The whole team crushed it,
ah,
unquote. Yeah, like I
I
compare.
agree. I went full on. Okay, do you know that meme where it's like the big eyes and it's crying and you're like, that's me. That's me.
Yeah, I
I
could
want to
imagine.
like hug him and pet him and be like, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be like, Lisa's like, you're the king of my heart.
Yep. I think
That was
after
an
watching this
adorable
episode,
line,
many
by the
people
way.
saying
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yes. Oh gosh. Like I already liked King. This just made me like him more.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, he's too cute.
Yeah, I mean, I
And
took the
yeah.
takeaway I had from this episode is like, I was waiting for that Owl House episode to go deeper into King. This is it. Like, I remember I was doing like an Instagram stream where one of my followers from Australia was saying, "Oh, I saw the first two episodes of the second season." I was like, "Go see the third one when you get the chance. It's really something." I
Oh
mean,
yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah.
Like I wouldn't be surprised if some people kind of sleep on it.
Uh-huh.
And then it's like, oh snap. I
Yeah.
almost completely missed out on this.
Yeah, I mean, I would easily like at least as the Owl House episodes that have been released from season one or two. I could easily imagine putting this as like one of my top 10 favorite Owl House episodes. Like, I think I even said in the stream I put it up there like next to like Understanding Willow and Agony of a Witch in terms of like my favorite Owl House episodes.
I think it's got to be pretty up there. It's
Yeah,
I think it would probably have to be obviously Grom Knight
yeah, I really like the
and
Grom
Echoes
episode
of the
too.
Past.
Yeah,
Echoes of the Past. I think those are the main two ones that I'm really like. I love this episode.
yeah.
Which obviously it's not that I don't like the other episodes. It's just like
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, because like me personally, I think the Owl House episodes they basically range from me for they go from all right to oh my god that's amazing like just in terms of like the
yeah.
scale of like what I think of the
I
episodes.
don't know if I'd even say like all right. Like I think for me it would probably be like, oh, this is fun. To like, oh my gosh, what's going on?
Mm-hmm. And when I say all right, I don't necessarily mean that it's bad. Like I think of like the Grudgeby episode, like in the first season. Not that it's like bad or anything, but the story didn't really like blow me away. And it's like, I mean, I could watch this my next haircut, but I'm not gonna put it as like a like my top five favorites. Unlike
Oh yeah, absolutely,
Echoes of the
absolutely.
Past. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'd be like, that's kind of like the one that's like, oh, that one was a fun episode.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's
Cause.
not bad or poorly written or anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's fun. Like that's the deal because it gives me kind of like filler vibes that particular episode anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I think there's still a possibility to appreciate filler for what it is.
Yeah.
Like it's not bad. It's not less. It's not like any worse or better than like a strong, impactful episode.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, shifting from, oh my gosh, you're going to dump all this like plot development to like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
let's take a break to enjoy like the logic of this universe we've created.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely
Type of
room for like kind of more like sort of like fun. Maybe not the most amazing, but still fun for what it is. Like I think of Fresh Prince is gonna become another one of those shows I won't shut up about.
Yeah.
But I think of one episode of Fresh Prince called, I think it's like Sleepless in Bel Air or something. It's the one where, because on the surface it seems like a very like typical story. Okay, Will is cramming in for a chemistry test, and it goes the route you think it's gonna go. Spoiler alert: he doesn't do well on the test, and he fails to study the whole night. But what makes it like really fun for me is all the antics the family gets into. I mean, I just really like how like the comedy is delivered, from like how his cousin Hillary is like wired on caffeine and is trying to get tired by just reading the dictionary, to Carlton freaking out because he lost his extra credit report. And
Oh
honestly,
my gosh.
to there's even like a scene where like Will's uncle Phil, like he's obsessed
Hmm.
with like killing this cricket because he can't get to sleep, so he's trying to find a way to get rid of it. And you want to know
Oh
how
my gosh.
he uh yeah, I mean the way like he steps on it, they play this like loud squish sound effect. When I first heard that, I was like, did he step in like dog turd? And he was like
Oh no.
and he was like, I killed the cricket. And his butler is like, "Oh, what a horrible death!" And yeah, and there's even that scene where where Uncle Phil is like, oh, I know how Captain Ahab feels, and Jeffrey the butler is like, between you and the cricket. I forgot the joke he was saying. Oh wait, he was saying the cricket is the whale, and like those
Oh
kind of
my
jokes. I
gosh.
thought like it may not be like the funniest
Like a
Fresh
like a
Prince.
like a like a Moby Dick reference.
Yeah, like I mean, it
Yeah,
may not
okay.
be like the best Fresh Prince episode in terms of like story or emotion, but it's like the jokes they put in, the way they like, the delivery comes out, and how they tell them, I think makes it fun. It's one of those Fresh Prince episodes that I can't stop watching. So
Oh my
yeah,
gosh,
so I
yeah.
definitely think that there's room for like episodes like that in Yao's. Honestly, I want to see even more of those kind of like specials like we talked about before. Like, wouldn't it be nice if there was like an Owl House like Halloween episode, even if it's not
Oh,
canon? Yeah.
I would
Mm-hmm.
love a Halloween special.
Yeah.
If I may ask for a quick moment,
Eh.
I need to.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Okay. Okay. It's cool.
Quick break, quick break. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So while Gabby's taking a quick break, I'll just quickly go through the live chat. Kyle, would you say, to be fair, it's good that in the show status quo now, Luce is trying to reciprocate to Amity little by little because the show needs to explain needs to show the principal plot points, Bellis's plan, Luce's journey, etc. King and Nita have their own right reasons. Anybody, if anybody else is watching the stream, or even in the future after it's done, you could leave your thoughts in the comments below. Um, Kyle says Pokemon is messed up sometimes. Definitely has its share of really emotional moments. Like I think of the Darkrai movie. I think I remember like left me really feelsy or even in tears. So yeah, so if anybody else is watching, whether the stream is ongoing or you're watching this in the future when it's all said and done, you could leave your thoughts down below in the comments. Yeah, so yeah. Um Kyle, would you say by the way excuse me, by the way, the abomination looks similar to, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing this, I'm not too familiar with Epic Mickey. Blot works from Epic Mickey too. I'd have to look into that. I'm sure the Abomination looks similar. I'm just not very familiar with Epic Mickey 2. What did you think of the two episodes, Kyle? What did you think of Escaping Expulsion and Echoes of the Past. It's weird in that Echoes of the Past, even though I say it's my favorite episode of the season so far, I'm having a lot of trouble remembering the title. I'm just kind of weird like that. I'm the kind of person where it takes me a while to like learn the names of people when I meet them. But yeah, I hope that you're enjoying the stream so far. And we are looking forward to talking about the next episode, which is Keeping Up Appearances. Gabby, so just waiting for you to come back.
Okay,
And
sorry about that.
okay,
I'm
yeah, no
back.
worries. So yeah, so I mean, it's just like we already. So yeah, we talked about the greatness of both Escaping Expulsion and Echoes of the Past, and so yeah, so I guess next episode we're looking forward to in the States is Keeping Up Appearances. Yeah, which
Hmm.
again to reiterate,
That's the mom episode, right?
yeah, we think it's the
Oh,
mom. Yeah, which to reiterate what Disney TVA said in their Instagram post, quote, Ida gets an unwelcome visit from a family member who puts a strain on everyone in the owl house.
so they're kind of not letting you know outright who the what who where what relative it is.
Yeah, but
I
it
I'm go
looks
I'm yeah, it looks like mom.
yeah, I completely agree because in the trailer we see this like older woman with like a staff with a eagle as like the talisman, and it's like, that looks like Ida's mom.
Either that or like their aunt,
Uh-huh.
but I'm going to bet on mom.
Yeah,
I
me
don't know.
too.
There's like a recurring kind of issue or kind of like thing with like mother daughter relationships.
Yeah. Yeah, cuz like we see
Lewis,
that, yeah.
Amity, and um now Ida. And I mean I guess Lilith. I think they're both in it just because of one because of growing up with the same mom, and two because well now she's going to have to work around the fact that she may not be what mom wanted her to be anymore.
Yeah. I mean, after betraying Emperor Bellows and leaving the Emperor's Coven, I mean, there's definitely a lot. I mean, I was, looking through the trailer for season two, in the past couple days. The scenes that I think could be possibly in this next episode, I think of like, there's still that one shot of younger Ida, and there's the one where she's a kid like hiding behind a door, and we see a character like in shadow, like sort of like, I don't know, like yelling or something, and I was wondering, ooh, is that like the mom, like, you know, like freaking out over something?
Oh yeah, yeah. Ah, that was the one that kind of ended up being a Lilith, though, right?
Was it? Because
The
it's
one that
Ida.
comes out on the door. It's like a weird shadow
I
with
don't think that's in an
or was
episode
that
yet.
different?
I think that's different because the only snippet we see of a
Oh, you're
younger
talking
Ida,
about one that the okay.
yeah,
I was thinking about an earlier episode. I was
the
thinking of like
only
way back season one.
yeah, because the only thing we see of the only part where we see a younger Ida is Echoes of the Past, and even then, because in the trailer we see what looks like Ida when she was still like a kid.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I thought you were talking about that the kid. Like when they were talking about Edith's curse in first season.
yeah. That was back in Young Blood, Old Souls.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that was the one.
Yeah,
Oh, but I don't know. I'm just excited. It's gonna be fun. Like
yeah.
I'm expecting to have like a fun time with that episode. Like maybe have some good laughs.
Yeah. Oh boy. Especially with a name like Keeping Up Appearances. It's like, are they gonna, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we talked about how like, I know you brought up, like, it might be a case where it's like, Ida has to, like, pretend, oh, she still knows magic, and, like, everything's fine.
Oh my
Uh,
gosh, yeah. Oh, but they do have glyphs now, both Lilith and Ida. So
yeah, and
there you
Lilith in
go.
yeah, and Lilith in particular is like getting good at like using the glyphs. Like, oh yeah, we didn't really talk about how in Escaping Expulsion the side story was Lilith and Ida trying to learn how to use Lucis glyphs, and how that there are, as of that particular episode, there are four, but now it's more like five glyphs, right?
Oh, well, yeah, because they figured out all of the main glyphs, and then they just use them in different combinations to have different effects.
All right. So wait, was the invisibility one another one of those combinations?
Yeah, the invisibility one was a combination.
Oh, okay, okay. It's funny. I was telling Penny earlier about how the four glyphs are light, the light glyph, plant, fire, and ice, and she was like, "What is this, Avatar?" I'm mentioning that shit way too much.
Yep. No, but like it is kind of like,
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
yeah. It's just the big difference is that the characters rely on like markings, whether it's on like a piece of paper or like a drawing on the floor.
Or on your hand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Chakapa! Yeah. That one's pretty cool, like with the plant one that
Mm-hmm.
Loose does.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just really like glyphs. They're pretty interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, they certainly are. Kyle, would you say about the episode? You said Escaping Expulsion is a good episode to show a fun story, new episodes, or you meant to say new characters, and
Oh yeah.
oh, you also said Echoes of the Past is an episode where we see the potential and great execution of stories, characters, and lore on the show. I mean, it's just like my God, there's so much possibility coming out of that episode.
Oh heck yeah! A lot of
Mm-hmm.
questions, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of open doors. What will come next? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, are we gonna see like King become like some sort of like protector of the demons, or does it turn out that yeah, all the demons of like his parents' generation are wiped out, and he's gonna just go at it on like Emperor Bellows.
Yeah. I kind of want to see the second one, but I mean, also that is pretty sad. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. I'll be happy with either one. I
Yeah.
think I'll be happy with either one.
Yeah. It's just kind of like welcome to the fun of fan theories, I guess.
Yay!
Yay.
Yep.
Yeah, showing both the possibilities of like what hope there is and what potential sadness awaits. I don't know, cause I'm at one point I was thinking what could Moon possibly get killed off and Star, and then that didn't happen. I was like, well, that's it for me in fan theories.
Aw. I mean, I don't know if I would put that past them as far as like with Star versus Force of Evil, but I mean,
Mm-hmm. Because I mean, yeah, I mean, granted, they, what happened with her mother, Comet, killed by Toffee, so they did go there,
oh
just not
yeah,
with the character I was thinking. Mm-hmm.
yeah. Huh, I hadn't thought of that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Let's see another a comment. And King's species backstory by this point looks the same as Knuckles' clan from Sonic. Do you know anything about that? Like the backstory of Knuckles?
I'm not very familiar.
Um,
But I don't think we see any other echidnas, right?
any other what?
Echidnas? No, there are other hedgehogs. Like Silver,
Oh,
Shadow.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
But there I don't remember any other echidnas.
Yeah,
Huh.
I don't. I mean, admittedly, I grew up as a Nintendo fan, so like my knowledge of Sega is like, I know what a Sega Genesis is and a Dreamcast, but I don't know too much about, because like my first like Sega game was Super Monkey Ball, and like as a kid, I don't know about you, Gabby, but I had no idea Nintendo and Sega were like like in a console war in the 90s. Like I had like no clue. I was
Oh
just
no,
like,
me
"Oh,
neither.
I just
Me
thought they were
neither.
two different publishers."
I'm like video games,
Mhm.
yay! That's all I thought.
I still find it weird how, as a little kid, I had no idea who made the Dreamcast. I just saw, oh, Dreamcast at Target, but never, I didn't question who made it. At one point I was thinking, did Microsoft make it?
Oh wow, that'd have been interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was because
Uh,
I heard that Microsoft made the Xbox, so I was thinking that, oh, is the Xbox like a successor to the Dreamcast? And I was like, no, it's a completely different company. Oh,
huh.
okay. Yeah.
Oh, I like the thing for me was like characters because I was that kid. I'm like, it has Pikachu on it. I want it.
I see.
Pikachu. But I don't know. At least as a kid, like a younger kid, I was pretty simple minded. So
Yeah. I mean, I didn't really like
I mean, I
question.
can be like, I'm still gonna be like, yay, Pikachu. But at the same time, I'm like, I can appreciate like the complexities of all that apart from it. It's
I
just.
see.
And I mean,
Um,
I went a little bit all over the place because like I did play a good game. A little all over the place is like what kind of video games I played because I played a little bit of PlayStation, a little bit of Sega game, Nintendo.
I see.
Hello.
Yeah. I'm not sure what's happening. All of a sudden now,
Oh, I can't.
my computer's kind of like overloaded. I'm not really sure what's going on.
Oh, okay. All right. Did you
Yeah,
catch what I was saying, or?
kind of.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
I don't.
great. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to
Yeah,
go
I
over it
think.
again?
Yeah, I think I'm like.
Okay, I
I
was just
think
saying
now.
that I can't.
Gabby, you're still there?
Yeah. It's just I don't know if it's like very delayed or something.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. I think I'm gonna have to like end things off here, only because I don't want the stream to go on too longer if it's gonna
I'm
be
so
like really
sorry.
glitchy. Yeah, no, it's not your fault. I'm still trying to figure out what's going on, but I'm glad that like we were able to get this far. Yeah, just I'm still surprised, how
Oh
much we were
yeah,
able to talk. Yeah. So yeah, so sorry about like how like things are getting
yeah.
like all glitchy at the end, but I'm gonna end things off here just so it doesn't get much more awkward. So yeah, thank you for coming on, Gabby. I look forward to
Okay.
talking about keeping up appearances, and hopefully I can figure out what's going on.
I'm so excited for more Owl House.
Yeah, they're on a
Yay! Thank
roll.
you for
They
having me.
Yeah. So until next time, this has been Gabby and Bloodman Bobby. I kind of want to like start talking about Owl House on Discord. So if you want to like talk about the latest episodes, there's a link down below to my Discord if you want to check it out. So if you enjoyed the
Let's go
stream,
in the chat. Yes.
yes, let's go in the chat. So until next, yeah, so if you enjoyed the stream, give it a like and subscribe to the Bloodman Bobby YouTube channel. And until next time, we'll see you all later.
Bye.